Hi, welcome to Home Farm. Today we're going to be weeding our driveway and we're going to be using this 2000 watt weed burner from Draper.
So it's a very sunny and hot day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to apologise, but I am going to put my sunglasses on because the sun is right behind the camera and it's completely blinding me. So we're going to be doing some weeding today and we're hopefully going to be powering through it quite quickly.
Yeah.
We've got a long sweeping gravel driveway. And it's got a little bit out of control.
And full disclosure, we used a gas weed burner recently to get through the bottom portion of the driveway.
Yeah, so check out that video.
Exactly.
That video should be up then.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how the electric one performs against that.
Yeah.
The most important thing I think is going to be the heat that they generate. The gas one, you could play with the nozzle and get it to go up to about 1000 degrees centigrade. This one's got two settings on it. The highest is 600 centigrade. So it's just going to be really interesting to see how it tackles the portion of the driveway which probably isn't as overrun as the bottom portion was. But there are a lot of small kind of grass shoots that are coming out. So it's just going to be really interesting to see how that tackles it.
So we have solar panels, which means that we are off the grid with regards to a lot of our, well, all of our electricity just about.
Yeah.
And
during the day.
Yeah, we don't have batteries, so we don't store during the night. So that means that we want to use as many electrical power tools as possible. We don't really like to use fuel powered tools like diesels and things like that. The bonus of the gas weed burner was that obviously because we've got a 2-acre property and small holding, it means that you can roam far and wide and be very, very mobile and just go wherever you want. With the electricity, obviously you are going to be corded, therefore you are going to be attached to the house. But for us, it's great because it is environmentally friendly, it's sustainable, there's no chemicals and there's no fuels. So we like that. And
you're typically doing that kind of work when it's beautiful days like today. So, you know, our solar production is just off the charts on days like today. So plugging in a high usage device like this, which is 2000 watts, is really great because we're going to completely offset that during the course of today. The installation is really simple. The handle just slots it in through the back. It's got the little switch here on the side which basically has number 1 and number 2. Number 2 is the hottest setting at 600 degrees. It also comes with a charcoal attachment which I think you can use to light barbecues and fires. I don't think we'll be using that. So we're just going to use our weed burner the way it is and start tackling the weeds.
So we've been using the Draper weed burner for a couple of weeks now, and what do we think?
I think it's been quite useful. We did use a gas weed burner at more or less the same time.
Yeah, we were kind of doing a comparison.
And it's very different to the gas burner. The gas burner obviously has a flame.
Yeah.
This doesn't. It's just like a glorified hairdryer. Well, I should say glorified. It is like a hairdryer that really just blows out a lot of hot air. With the gas one, you actually see the weeds wilting almost instantly.
Yeah.
With this, you've got to keep it positioned over the actual weed for a lot longer for it to happen.
Yeah.
But it does work. It requires a little bit more patience and dedication in terms of actually trying to get the weeds to wilt.
Yeah, it's definitely a slower process.
Yeah.
A slower tool. So I think that if you've got a real weed problem, or you've got a really big area of weeds, I'm not necessarily sure if this is going to be the most efficient tool to use. I think if you've got a small patio area or a small pathway, or just a little driveway where you just pull off the road and you've got your parking space right there and you just want to keep the edges tidy or something, so you're dealing with maybe like 2 or 3 meters, then I think that this is fine. You do have to go out quite regularly. I think it's more of a maintenance tool. I don't think it really works particularly well on like, you know, big overgrown weeds. So if you've got like really big tall thistles or big tall dandelions and things, I think you're gonna have to manually pull those out or get rid of them a different way. But then if you want to just have maintenance of just seeing little shoots of weeds come up and you want to kind of nuke those and dry those out, then I think it's a good application.
It does work well. The documentation says you should keep the actual weed burner on top of a weed for about 3 seconds. We found that that is about right. But now if you start multiplying that over the amount of weeds that you have, I mean, for us, when we just did the top portion of the driveway, it took well over an hour to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, during that time, we obviously did nuke a lot of weeds.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is a maintenance tool, and it's something that you do have to allocate a decent amount of time to.
Yeah, I think again, I think we mentioned it earlier, the safety aspect. I think that, you know, obviously with the, you know, any kind of gas weed burner, you know, you do have a live flame, and therefore, you know, you do have those, you know, safety concerns. Whereas with this, it is just hot air.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just so so much safer to use.
It is safer.
So from that perspective, I think it was great. You still got the upright position of just being able to walk around. So it's very comfortable with regards to walking around.
Definitely. I did do a little experiment actually with some dried leaves that I had on the side.
Okay.
And I kept the actual weed burner on top of those for maybe about 10 or 15 seconds. They smoldered. There was no flame that actually came from them. So I think you'd have to keep it over the leaves for a very long time in order for them to actually form into a flame.
Yeah.
So again, that is a far safer approach than the gas burners.
Yeah, and I think also what, you know, for example, with gas burners, you know, you really have to be careful around, you know, wood decking or wood pathways or plastic decking or plastic furniture, all that kind of stuff. Whereas with this, you know, you don't have those concerns. You know, you can, whether you're using it against a brick edging or concrete edging, or you're using it against a wood edging, maybe, you know, the chances of you damaging something are a lot slimmer. So, you know, from that perspective, I think it's good. The cord is very, very short.
Frustratingly short.
I don't know why. I have no idea who thought that a meter cord was going to be a good idea, but it's really short. So you do have to put it into an extension and go around with your extension. For us, that wasn't too much of a hassle, but you know, I can imagine for some people that could be a little bit frustrating. So I definitely think that's something to keep in mind. If you're going to be purchasing something, think about, you know, where you're going to be plugging it in, and if you want to have to put it into an extension cable and kind of take it around.
Now that we've started to use it and we have a better understanding of it, I think it's going to be more of an ongoing process for us. I think once a week or once a fortnight we'll come out and do portions of the actual driveway.
Yeah.
Because we did find that where we pulled weeds out, those weeds have started to kind of come back.
Yeah.
But where we actually use the weed burner, I think it actually does damage the actual weed on a cellular level. And from that perspective, they're not bouncing back at all. We used the weed burner on the second setting, which is the 2000 watt setting. That was the most effective against the weeds. For us, that works because we are often using it on days like today where there's a lot of sun around, which means that our solar panels are completely offsetting the electricity consumption.
Yeah, so it's nice and sustainable for us. You know, obviously when you're not using chemicals with this, and also with a gas burner, you know, you are using fuel. So for us, this is a really nice, green, clean alternative.
Definitely.
So we hope you found this video useful and interesting. If you did, please subscribe and ring the bell.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.